Hello everyone, welcome back to another session by K21 Academy, and today our experts trainer will be discussing about OCI gateways. So watch the video till the end.
Let's talk about the gateways. Now this diagram basically has got all the gateways in a single diagram. Okay, so you can see here four gateways. One is the internet gateway, another one, so this one is the internet gateway. At the top here you are seeing the NAT gateway. Okay, here this is the service gateway, and this is what we say the dynamic routing gateway. Now if I just want to give you in the nutshell here about these gateways, internet gateway is related to your two-way traffic from the public network and to the public network. NAT gateway is basically related to the traffic which is going outside your network, VCN, but from the outside world you will not be, it is not going to come to your network. Okay, so it is basically an internet gateway but with one-way traffic. Okay, and right now while you are all listening to this class, you are basically using the NAT gateway, your router at home or wherever you are there. That router is basically the NAT gateway. So right now if you see, whenever you are using the broadband at your home, you know you are not going to have, nobody is able to connect to you from outside world. Okay, so you are just accessing the internet, downloading the stuff and everything, but nobody from outside can reach you. Like even right now, even if I'm having a public IP here, but you will not be able to connect to me, or you will not be able to route it because my incoming connections to my network is blocked. Okay, and that is how your home network is used, the routing and everything. So the NAT gateway task is basically the same. You are using that with the private subnet. Okay, when you want to say download any patch or yum update, you want to do it, or any kind of file you want to download it from the internet, in that case you use the NAT gateway. Okay, service gateway. Now there are two ways to connect to the service network of Oracle. Okay, so like Oracle has got a service network in which Oracle has got its own services available, the public endpoints of these services available. Now what is the catch here is, suppose my object storage, okay, I want to move the backup which I have taken, or maybe the files which I have, to the object storage. Object storage is basically a public service object storage. You can upload it like your Dropbox. Okay, uploading the files to the bucket and downloading it at any point of time to just see it and all, you can do that. So it is all accessible over the internet. But suppose if I want that it should not be exposed, because if suppose my backup or file which I want to be secured, and I am just uploading it to the object storage, that is going to be a security breach. So service gateway is basically the one through which you can transfer all these files or backup or whatever service you want to access it, but it is going to bypass the internet. It will be using Oracle internal network only to access these files, or say backups, or you want to transfer whatever you want to do. So that is internally Oracle is going to use its network and then is going to provide the connectivity between these services. And the another one here is the dynamic routing gateway. So we have seen already that, okay, whenever you want to have an on-prem connectivity and a two-way traffic from the private network, in that case the dynamic routing gateway you are going to use. So earlier dynamic routing gateway was just a router and was restricted to just have a connectivity between the on-premise network and those things, just used for the connectivity. But now Dynamic routing gateway has been enhanced, and now you can even use the dynamic routing gateway for peering the network. You can use dynamic routing gateway at many places and can use it. So that version 2, Oracle has enhanced it, and the capabilities of the dynamic routing gateway has been increased a lot. So we are going to see that that how the dynamic routing gateway is used, and how you can do the peering of the network using the dynamic routing gateway the easy way. So that is what I'm going to cover it. Right, so let's first start with an internet gateway. Internet gateway is basically the the router at the backend, and it is basically, it provides you the path between your VCN and the internet public network. Okay, so it is basically a two-way communication which you are going to do it for any, say, virtual machine you have created here, and that is how it is going to access it from the public network. That means it is going to accept the traffic ingress, say incoming traffic and the outgoing traffic both. Only one gateway per VCN is allowed. That is important. And anyhow, even if this is you can't remember it, you will not be able to create more than one VCN in your network. VCN. So one per VCN is allowed. Internet gateway can be only one. And redundancy and everything is managed by Oracle. The high availability, redundancy, and all those stuff is maintained by Oracle. Right. So what you have to do is you need to create this and then create the internet gateway and make the entry in the route table. The network which we have created it with the wizard. Right, so this ddemo VCN is what we have created, and if you see here, internet gateway, it shows one internet gateway ddemo VCN, okay, which is in the available status. And if you go to the route table here, you can see the route table entry here, the destination 0.0.0 internet gateway and whatever the internet gateway has been created. And what are the operations you can do it in the route table. So this is my route table. Okay, and now what all is available here you can see here. Right, so this is the internet gateway. You need to create an entry here. Okay, let's talk about the NAT gateway. So okay, and if you see here, connecting to the internet from the private subnet. Okay, connecting to the internet, not from the internet. Connecting to the internet from the private subnet. That is where the purpose of NAT gateway is defined. So if you see here, I have got a private subnet here. Okay, and this private subnet, uh, suppose I need to apply any patch, download any patch, or maybe the RPM or anything, or say I want to update the repository from Oracle, or maybe from the repository which is available from the public network, or maybe if you are, say, having a financial application implementation, you might have done it daily basis. You need to download that currency conversion table, or the file from the banking site, because that differ from bank to bank, that how much conversion they are providing. So that you need to download it to your application solution wherever the conversions are going on, and that is where your NAT gateway is required, that you need to download the file. Okay, although from the internet, your application, you're not exposing it to the internet, you are just accessing the internet, and this is where your NAT gateway comes into picture. So what you need to do is you need to create your NAT gateway and then make the entry in the routing table, and this is basically used for the private subnet. Okay, so in case of private subnet, you need to, so this is private subnet will not have the public IP. Okay, so you will not be able to access this from anywhere. So that is where your NAT gateway is used. So in NAT gateway also, the destination is going to be the public network. So 0.0.0.0/0 is what you need to make as your destination. The traffic is still going to the public network destination. So that entry and the internet gateway entry will be same. The difference is internet gateway is two-way communication, NAT gateway is one-way communication. Right, so it basically only has the outbound connection and there is no inbound connection. Okay, so whatever your ingress connection which is coming to the network, that are blocked. Only the egress connection which is going outside the network is all initiated. Right, so here is like how you are going to do that. So here, when you are creating the default one from wizard, it is basically having the NAT gateway as well, because whenever you create, yeah, here, whenever you create the private subnet, okay, so by default it basically when say you are creating it with the wizard, it creates the net. But here if you see, my NAT gateway has got the public IP. So my gateway has got the public IP, not my network. So this is, you can say that this is the public endpoint through which the internet is accessed, or the public network is accessed. So you are basically going to have a NAT table, right, where the mapping is done in your home routing. You are basically going to do the mapping there. Okay, if I say just with Linux, here if you see, my IPv4 address is the private address. So here you are not seeing any public IP which is allocated to my machine, but still I am connected to the internet. Right, we are connected to the internet. So my this IP is in the mapping table is mapped to the public IP, and whenever I'm requesting anything or so, it is basically going to that map will map the IP address there and will be bringing the information back to me. For the networking, if you have created it, it is not going to be charged. So they have got a limit there. If you just cross that limit, then probably you are going to see some charges. But yes, overall there is no charge, associated with this. So here, like if I just open my billing and cost management, now there are, and see the analysis here. Okay, just to show it to you. Okay, let me change the dates here a bit, because this is the month just started. I have to basically bring it a bit slow. Yeah. So let's see of September, and okay, and let's say apply here. Now you are going to see the charges for other services which is there right here, but you are not seeing anything which is related to the network. So I am using this account brutally, so for demo purpose, for anything, and even well, there are around 3 or 4 administrators. We have given some extra access to our developers as well, so they on and off do the stuff. So here if you see, nothing is there for the networking. So VCN, even the subnets, or sorry, the gateways or whatever it is, you can create it. The public IP is free from Oracle. You don't have to pay for it. Earlier, as I've heard that there was a limit for 5 IP addresses, public IP, but I think Oracle has removed that cap as well. So you can create multiple instances for your IP addresses and all. Even you can see that, okay, how many IP addresses are free. Maybe they have increased the quota now, because we are using this account from last 2+ years. We were never charged for the IP address. Okay, and we have got I don't know, around 15 to 20 applications which has got the public IP addresses there. Okay, the machines which has got the public IP allocated, and that are all consistent IP addresses. Okay, so till the lifetime of your instance, that IP addresses will be allocated. You can have the reserved IP. Okay, this public IP is free, but there is a option for creating the reserved IP, and that has got the cap there. So I think that is 10 IP addresses. You can reserve the IP and you can use it. So reserving the IP means those IPs will be allocated to you. You can allocate it to, say, the load balancer or so. Now tomorrow you are going to destroy your load balancer. Okay, then that IP will be released and will be back in your pool. But later on, you can even allocate that IP to any of your other services as well. So that will be allocated to you. That means you have purchased those IPs and put it as a reserved IP. Okay, now let's see the service gateway here, where my VCN hosts are privately connected to the Oracle service. Okay, and they are going to bypass the internet. So when I want to, say, communicate with the Oracle service network, then that is where I am going to use the service gateway. So Oracle service network is basically the network which is reserved for your Oracle services. Okay, all your Oracle services, and these services have got the public IP addresses. So over the internet, when you are, say, accessing it, like, say, my let me show you here. So this is, I am connected to the internet. Okay, I have the object storage here. I can go ahead and create a bucket here, and in this bucket I can go ahead and upload my files here. So test, and this is my file here. I can basically go, okay, so say this one, and you can see my file is uploaded. So this is everything. I'm doing it from the internet. That means the service which I am using has got the public IP address, and that is accessible over the internet. So this is basically about the Oracle service network, which is basically having the network, or say the IP address, or it uses an Oracle cloud network, infrastructure network, which is reserved for the Oracle services. Okay, and it has got the public IP address through which you can access these services over the internet as well. But what if if you want to privately access these services? So Oracle has got basically the service gateway, where through which you can access this Oracle service network through the Oracle channel itself, Oracle internal network, and you are not basically driving traffic to the internet, or via internet route you are accessing it. No, so it is privately accessed through your Oracle network, and between the transfer or download of the services will happen in this case. Okay, so when you want to say privately access to your Oracle service without exposing the data to the public internet, then the service gateway comes into picture. So you don't need to have an internet gateway or the NAT gateway. You don't need that. Okay, when you want to access this service, you can directly use the service gateway, and via service gateway you can access this service. If you want to transfer the backup, you can transfer this via service gateway itself. So your traffic is going to be within the Oracle network, and it is not never is going to traverse the internet. The only thing is to remember here is service gateway is the regional service. Okay, that means if I go ahead and create the service gateway, it is going to be applicable within the region. Okay, like say I am having the Frankfurt region, so my Frankfurt region has got the service gateway. I have got enabled another region as well, then that also has the its own service gateway that will be having it. So it is going to be in the services which are available in that region. Okay, so it has got a unique or say a service sider label, not exactly the same way it works. So if suppose I I will show you here. So the concept remains the same, that you are going to create the service gateway and making that entry to the routing table. Okay, so let's see the routing table first, where we are seeing this entry. So here, so this is say my routing table entry. I have make this service gateway entry here. Now if you see here what is mentioned, all FRA services in Oracle Service Network. FRA is basically my Frankfurt region. Okay, so whatever services which are available is what is going to be. So let's first see here. This is my service gateway and it has got this. So there is one more option which basically I would like to show you. Okay, so service gateway here. Okay, now I just want to edit this so that I can show you. So I have created a service gateway name here, and here there are two options. Okay, all services, which is available in the Oracle Service Network. So you want to enable that, or you just want to enable the object storage service, so OCI FRA object storage. So that is just going to enable the object storage, so that in case if you want to transfer the backups or copy the files, uh, uh, take the file, or want to access it securely, in that case it is going to be applicable there. Okay, so these are like the services. Now all FRS services means there are multiple services where your service gateway can be used. Okay, so you can basically access all the services which are available. So there is a list there which mentions that okay, what all services are applicable, or what all services are available under the service gateway. So the same thing here, you are just going to create that, and then later you are going to make that entry in the routing table. So initially the service gateway was developed and released only for the backup services, like the on-premise backup. Like suppose I am having an RMAN backup files for my database which I want to transfer it to the object storage. Now instead of going via internet and uploading the file there, instead of that, Oracle has released the service gateway, and there you can upload the file. So that only one option was there in that, the object storage. Later on, like for your autonomous database and various other services, you are seeing you are using the service gateway as well. So that is where Oracle has mentioned that all the other services also later they have added it. So here if you just see, I have added the link as well, that okay, this is basically the link. What are the service supported by the service gateway? You can see here block volumes, compute, database. So many other services are also later added by Oracle. Earlier it was just for the object storage. That's why they have mentioned it separately. Now let's talk about the dynamic routing gateway. Okay, and the dynamic routing gateway is, here we are just seeing it, how the dynamic routing gateway is, and the where it is going to be used. Okay, but in detail we are going to see it with the demo in our advanced session. So just be relaxed, and we are going to take a very deep dive for the DRG, because DRG changes are important and you should understand it very clearly, that okay, what enhancement has been done. Okay, so right now I'm just going with the basic one, that where the DRG is going to be used. So DRG, usually you are going to use it when you want to connect your on-premise network to the Oracle Cloud Network. Okay, the data center, like my on-premise data center is there, and I want to make the connection between the data centers of the Oracle Cloud. So in that case, so you are going to set up the VPN, and whenever the VPN setup is needed, you basically need the dynamic routing gateway, because dynamic routing gateway is going to take the two-way traffic from the private networks. So it is basically, I will say that, is exactly same as the internet gateway, but just the two-way communication is done to the private network. That is the only difference. Otherwise it is all same, and it is again the same. You can have one dynamic routing gateway per VCN. Okay, but if you see the enhancement part, okay, the next level, like this statement remains true, but the same dynamic routing gateway can be used to connect to up to 300 networks VCN. Okay, so if you see from the VCN aspect, the dynamic routing gateway remains one only. But if you see from the DRG aspect, it can connect to 300 networks. That is the limit, and even that limit, if you want to enhance it, you can request Oracle and that can be enhanced. So a single dynamic routing gateway has the capability to connect to 300 networks. Okay, and that is where the easiness of connecting multiple networks becomes easier, because there are two ways now. One is the trivial way, like using the local peering gateway, and then you can just make the connection between the two network. And the advanced level, or say the next level is, or the modern level is, using the dynamic routing gateway, you can just make the two network communicate to each other. That is just the local peering gateway, means within the same region. If you want to make two networks communicate with each other, then it can be done using the dynamic routing gateway. That is one thing. Another thing is, when say you want to uh, when okay, fine, I think, yeah, I will be giving that example after a while. Right, so here is what you are going to do is, you are creating the dynamic routing gateway, okay, and making that entry in the routing table. That is how your dynamic routing gateway is going to be. But apart from that, we can see from here. So earlier your dynamic routing gateway and everything was from the VCN, you can see here, but now you can see only the attachment, means the connections which are there to your dynamic routing gateway. But when you want to say create the dynamic routing gateway, you basically need to go to the network, and here is what you're under the customer connectivity. you are going to connect to the dynamic routing gateway. So here you are going to say connected, say demo. Okay, and this is where in the compartment you are going to create, and okay. So dynamic routing gateway, the soft limit is there, which has already been reached. So I know I'm not using any of the gateway. This is just on the demo site. Yeah, so this is here. Right, so you can see here, this is my dynamic routing gateway, which is created, and in that there are few entries which will be populated on its own. Okay, but you can see where you can use this dynamic routing gateway. You can use it for your fast connections. Okay, this virtual circuit attachment and all is basically related to the fast connect, which is one of the service, or say a premium service, which is available to make your on-premise data center connectivity to the Oracle cloud. Then for your site-to-site VPN, so that is where it is going to get connected. If you want to connect two networks which are in different region, then you can use this remote peering connectivity. Even you can use this for your cross tenancy attachment as well. This is the new enhancement which has been done in the DRG, latest one. Okay, so if you want to have say connectivity between the two tenancy, then also you can use the DRG for making that connectivity. Okay, two tenancy means your account and my account. You have an account say XYZ, and I am having an account say ABC. That are totally two different region, different everything different. Okay, and if you want to make that connection tenancy connectivity there, then you will be using this feature of cross tenancy. So that is there. Now DRG itself has got its routing table, okay, which is going to be having all those details, like from DRG. So that is how it comes. Okay, so now here we know the concept of routing table, right? The routing table is from the network the traffic which is going. Now if DRG itself is going to have its own routing table, so it will be easy for you to route the traffic keeping your DRG as the centralized equipment. Okay, so DRG will be the centralized one, and via that you are just routing the traffic, like whatever traffic which is coming from so and so source, you are going to move that to the another one. Now whatever traffic is coming from say source number 2, you are going to route that traffic to your on-premise network, or maybe to the another network. So that is where the DRG itself can be used for making the communication between the network. As I mentioned that a single DRG has the capability to connect to the 300 networks. That 300 network, say suppose VCN1 to VCN 300, and you want the communication between that network, and that is how it is possible using the DRG routing table. You are going to make the entry and you can communicate to all these networks, between all these networks.
So guys, this was our expert from Team K21 Academy, and if in case you have some doubts and queries, then we have something really special for you. We have our free class on how to become Oracle Cloud Architect for certification and higher paying jobs. So in this interactive session, we will be discussing about why you must learn Oracle Cloud, OCI architecture, network connectivity and core services, our 8-week roadmap, plus 30 plus hands-on labs to go from complete beginner to the expert level. So all you have to do is just log on to k21academy.com/OCI02. You'll be seeing this kind of page. Just click on book your free seat now, select your event date, add your name, your email address, your phone number, and click on yes, save my seat. Moving ahead, you'll be seeing this kind of link. All you have to do is just save this link, add it to your calendars, and I'll see you in the free class. Till then, keep learning.